Hey dudes, welcome back to another episode of our Rhomas Men's Team podcast. You are about to listen to one of our prior team meetings. If you ever want to join one of our live sessions that we have every Monday and Friday, head over to rhomas.com. That's RHOMAS.com and put your email in and we will send you a live link every time we record. We generally record on Mondays and Fridays. So if you ever want to be on the actual podcast, like we bring men up all the time to talk about their goals, talk about their obstacles, etc., head over to rhomas.com. And then also, if you want to help support the channel grow and also have access to exclusive content, book reviews, extra whiteboard sessions, etc., and some coaching sessions, head over to patreon.com and support us. We would love it. But if not, no biggie. We'll see you on the live sessions. Later, dudes. Enjoy this podcast. I'm pretty sure we're live now. I am not Matt McCusker. I'm hiding under his screen name today because he is off on some journey. I don't even know how to articulate some sort of psychedelic jelly.
Mystical quest?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I think we're good. Gunther's giving us some little feedback. Gunther, what's up, dude? Troy, everybody who's on here, and I wanted to give a big thanks to Ray and Slay here. We got an awesome topic. But morning, fellas, what's going on?
Let us know in the comments if you can hear us loud and clear or if the video is working. What up? I'm having a great day, dude. I want to talk about addiction today, and not just what I struggle with, but more broadly, like for if drinking and drugs is not your problem, if gambling's your problem, if like playing video games is your problem, if like obsessively watching the news is your problem, I think you can get something out of this conversation today. What I want to talk about is like mastery over my urges. You know, and the urges are kind of like obsessive or compulsive activities that I do when I feel like I'm being placed out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, and Ray, but it's a great point. And one of the things I wanted to have you guys on today was because probably about like 4 years ago, I read the book, The Power of Habit. And they went through some really great studies, but they brought up the anomaly that is AA and the system in particular. And now living out here in California and working in the investment business, some of the greatest people I work with are a product of AA. And the thing that I have learned is that because it's given these men a code to live by, I love working with them, and like they have standards. And unfortunately, that's not taught in our school system. It's not taught in society, like having a formal code to live by. And that's one of the problems I think with having like all these like not necessarily problems, but people with different religions, backgrounds, etc. If we could all get on the same page and have some sort of like equilibrium together, and I think AA has provided a really solid infrastructure to do that. And for those of you guys who don't know, we got Slay on the cast as well. Slay, thank you for joining, brother.
Hey guys, it's great to be here.
So Slay's been awesome. He joined our scorecard team this week and just been crushing it. But I wanted to have that discussion because honestly, I want to learn about the system of AA because of how applicable it can be to every area of life. Now I'm just kind of making that hypothesis, but the book, The Power of Habit, spoke very strongly. So I want to have you guys on here, whatever notes you can give us or whatever teaching you guys can both give us. I'm all ears, and I think the guys would be all ears as well.
Slay, if I can make a format suggestion, I have my Narcotics Anonymous 12 steps in front of me. If you can pull up the Alcoholics Anonymous 12 steps on your screen, and we can just riff on both. Like I was saying before we went live, the Alcoholics Anonymous is the mothership from which all other 12-step programs originated. So the way that the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous were able to figure out this technique that like medication couldn't, like, okay, over drinking and being a slave to alcohol, medication couldn't solve. A doctor talking to you one-on-one couldn't solve. And there's something about the format of what we call in NA, the therapeutic value of one addict talking to another is without parallel, right? So the two gentlemen that started AA what they realized is someone was drinking themselves to death. They went into a hospital to talk, like his organs were all shot. They went into the hospital to talk to the guy, Bill W. and his friend, and they tried to figure out if they could talk this guy out of not drinking, because the two of them were able to talk themselves out of their alcohol problem. And what they realized is talking to the guy who was drinking himself to death didn't help him, it helped them. Right? So like, and I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, Slay, maybe you can help me understand that, like, there's something about, and it's so simple, it's frustrating to try and describe, it's frustrating to try and sell.
Sure. I think the way I've always liked to and have heard that aspect of the program's worded is that it's a selfish program. And so, when you talked about them going to help people, but they were doing it for themselves, that really has been a big aspect, was a big aspect of the programs for me.
And Slay, I'm sorry to interrupt you, bro. I know nothing about audio, so the guys will make fun. I think the audio levels are a little high, but guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a little high on audio. I have no idea. But it sounds
it could be. Cool. I could back up, maybe.
Cool. Yeah, we're all good.
The guys are saying it's good. It sounds a bit crunchy. When you talk loud and enthusiastic. Wes doesn't want you to speak loudly and enthusiastic. I do.
I'm excited. I mean,
hell yeah.
Wes is just helping me out today. Well, Wes is just helping me out today because Matt couldn't be here. So you just keep going, dude.
But yeah, it's a lot to do with helping yourself by helping others, and that comes to there's a lot of service work involved and fellowship, which is something I can see this team. It could be a big resource in that area.
Absolutely, Slay. Like, I talked with one of my other brothers on the scorecard practice team Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and we both agreed that, like, we love the 12 steps. The 12 steps saved our lives. But once we were able to master drug use and alcohol use, this daily habit practice and this league of extraordinary gentlemen focused together on personal excellence really provides the same function as 12 steps did when I was trying to shake off drugs, right? So if we can get right into it, because every one of the steps is a universe. Wes, any remarks before we get right into the steps?
Yeah, because I'm literally taking notes on here because I want to learn it for myself. So the first thing that I got from you, Ray, was the origin of this was this, and this was kind of an aha for me when you said it, is that it wasn't two philosophers, or it wasn't philosophers looking at a group and saying, oh, this is how we solve their problems. It's almost like a doctor looking at an addict and saying, oh, here's how you solve it. It was two practitioners saying, oh, we're in the shit of this. Right, like we're going to solve it together.
You're going to see so much overlap with what we do. Practitioners, not philosophers. Guys who are in the arena together, even though the arena sucks.
Sure.
In the case of drug addiction and alcohol addiction. And then the power of the team, right? Yep. So you're gonna, yes. And feel free, Wes, to, because I'm going to be focused on my materials. Feel free to remind us how this overlaps or complements what we do at Rhomas.
Yeah, and because, so what I'm thinking is the format is, okay, now we know the origin. It was two guys who were going through this shit together. Okay, let's figure it out together. Awesome. So now I'm oriented around that. Okay, now let's go through the first 4 steps, and maybe we'll do 3 episodes on this so that we can learn all 12 steps, because I literally want to see what can I extract from this for myself and for the team that we can implement, because I love the code from what I've heard about it. Okay, so what's step? We'll go through steps 1 through 4. Guys, what is step number 1?
So I'll Slay, why don't you read out the AA step 1?
Sure.
And riff on it, and then I'll follow up.
Step 1 in AA is admitting that you're powerless over alcohol and that your life had become unmanageable.
Okay.
And I can tell you what, that right there, it's not quite enough, but it's enough to get your foot in the door. And for me, that willpower aspect of it, admitting that your life is unmanageable, it was hard, but it's just so key. And for me, that was about vulnerability, and admitting what was wrong. It was just so important, because for me in my drinking, I was right about everything. I was just absolutely right, and I had everything under control. And what the truth of it was, I had absolutely nothing under control, and I was just thought I did. I was hypnotized. That drink had me hypnotized, and it was all I needed to convince myself that everything was manageable. But I was absolutely powerless over that drink, and I think that could absolutely apply to anything. I think Ray said, maybe people play video games, maybe people are stuck watching the news. And you kind of got to look at yourself, take a moment of vulnerability, and be willing to admit that this thing has power over you.
Like what I'm hearing is a sense of surrendering.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, I'm writing that down. That's perfect.
And then,
Ray, what? Please.
I can't recall there are differences in the. So Ray, what is there a difference in the first step in NA? I can't recall.
Really, the 12 steps are so universal that the only things they change from Gamblers Anonymous to Overeaters Anonymous to Sex Addicts Anonymous to Narcotics Anonymous is the word alcohol. Really, I think here's how it goes with Narcotics Anonymous. If you want what we have to offer and are willing to make the effort to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. These are the principles that make our recovery possible. 1, we admitted that we were powerless over our addiction, and that our lives had become unmanageable. So the only difference is alcohol and addiction, and maybe Sex Addicts Anonymous has we admitted that we were powerless over sex. Maybe Gamblers Anonymous, because I don't know those programs, say we admitted that we were powerless over gambling, right? And so every word in these steps is a universe. It's not I admitted that I was powerless over my addiction. It's we, right? Again, Wes, the power of the team, right? I love how you use the word vulnerability, Slay, because again, Wes, that complements perfectly what we've been working on all week with the Scorecard Practice Squad with Brene Brown.
Yep.
That our lives had become unmanageable. Again, addiction wants to keep you isolated. The gambling addiction doesn't want you to go home for dinner, to be home at dinner for 6 o'clock, right? It wants you to just keep playing till you win again or whatever, one more. And so addiction wants to keep you isolated. And it's weird because we're talking about fluids in your brain. Like Matt McCusker actually would be a great contribution to this conversation for the future segments, because maybe he or Wes, feel free to riff on the brain science, but to make it work for me, I have to think of addiction as a monster or a bully, or I have to anthropomorphize it. It wants me to be isolated. That makes me think of, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right?
100%. Yeah, and I think, Ray, what I'm hearing there is, I do think there's major benefit to identifying it and embodying it somehow, so your brain can wrap yourself around it. I mean, it's one of the kind of principles in psychology. Let's say 101 is label your emotions, label the thing, label the monster, and then identify it, like almost give a geometry to it. So now, because humans are used to, like, that was a great word you used, anthropologize it, or however you said it. It now makes it into a separate entity. And when something's a separate entity, then you can work around solving it. So I think that's great. I'm going to put that in my notes. Okay. Anything for either of you gentlemen to add to step number 1, or did we sufficiently cover it?
I would just say that what Ray said about the we is so important. And I mentioned, about fellowship. And for me, just joining Rhomas was me sort of seeking that. I'm not feeling a great sense of belonging in my life, and I'm isolated, and I'm finding that, or I was finding that there was no we. And when I'm alone, I get full of myself, and my ego starts building up. I start losing track of that vulnerability, and that admitting to myself where I went wrong. Suddenly I'm right about everything again. And so I would just emphasize that we is just that first word, we, admitted, the very first word. Ray said, each word is a universe in its own. That first word might be the most important one, we.
Yeah, I mean, as I look, as I kind of analyze this, I look back on my life, and one of the reasons that we created the Rhomas men's team was because we just missed the camaraderie of, like, the high school basketball bus, like, just, like, all of those things. And the team is super amazing, awesome, because I don't know if either of you guys have played sports growing up, but like, any team that you join, especially a team with men, you have this thing where you're competing in the same arena on that thing. But then there's also all of these other tangent benefits of, like, when you're in the locker room together, when you're on the commute together, all that stuff. Like, you build each other up, but then also you tear each other down a little bit, like by giving the little digs in a good way. It's like, hey man, like, you might be really good at this, but you're terrible at this. And just men have this great way of relating. And we do that now on the Rhomas men's team. None of us, I don't think, have ever met each other formally in person, but we still Ray takes digs at me every single day. And that's like, I actually look forward to it. Like, I think it's amazing to build this camaraderie, and it just keeps us kind of like in this harmony. Whereas, yeah, when you're out on your own, independent, man, it's a journey, and then I end up getting resentful. Just like you said, Slay. Like, I think I'm right all the time. I think all of these things, and I get resentful. It's like, these guys don't know how to do it, like all this stuff. But it's like when you're in a team, like, you keep yourself in check constantly because the group keeps you in check.
Yeah, it's something that again, another overlap for Rhomas. The reason that transitioning from going to NA meetings every day or virtually, and then switching, the reason that switching to Rhomas didn't imperil my sobriety at all is because, like, again, another overlap is that NA or AA is a community of people with a shared goal, right? Rhomas is a community of people with a shared goal. And now that I'm going to church voluntarily again, I see it as a community of people with a shared goal, And so it's I think Ken on the practice squad, or maybe John Weber said, like, he thinks differently now about who he surrounds himself with. Right, and
Yep.
building there's only 24 hours in a day, and so, like, I would prefer to fraternize with a group of people, not a random assortment of people, but life is short. I want to surround myself with people on the same mission as me.
Yep, 100%. All right, cool. So I've got notes for step number 1. How about step number 2?
So Slay, go ahead with the AA version.
So now this is where people run into their first hurdle. This is something people can really struggle with. Step 2 is that I came to believe that a power greater than myself we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And that's tough for a lot of people. Especially folks who maybe weren't raised going to church or with any concept of a faith or anything. that and I get it. That can be tough. You're believing in something. You're trying to generate a faith where maybe you never had anything like that. So that really is the first hurdle, because I think it's easier for people to admit they have a problem, but believing in a power greater than ourselves, a lot of us just think we're the power, we're the great power.
Yeah. And maybe I can add something here, because, just to be honest, I struggle with that kind of stuff, like being super analytical, like all of those things. And what I have now, what I am in complete agreement with is I do struggle with seeing certain godlike entities that say, "Oh, this thing in the sky has who is a male, cares what you do with your sexual orientation," like all that kind of stuff. And that's where my analytical brain just goes through like the pros and like the probabilities, right? Versus when I take myself out of that and say, okay, I can for sure be on board with, I am just a small product of an overall larger system. And that's where I can really get on board of like, oh, I am like nothing, like there's some sort of coding that I'm just a small little node in a network on. And that's where I really get by. And so I think if people are struggle, or maybe they have a negative relationship with religion, because I grew up Catholic, and I could totally see how somebody could go down the road of saying like, I just don't believe this stuff. Like, I don't believe that this snake was speaking words to a human. Like, I don't believe any of that. And then all of a sudden they remove all the benefits. But I think for me, it was way easier for me to come to an agreement of like, oh yeah, I'm a small little thing in this overall system that is very complex, and I can't begin to understand it. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and saying like, there's a greater power than myself for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah. And it's a hurdle for people in my program as well. Those who, because you'll see God throughout the rest of the literature, and for those who think that like, I don't believe that there's some kind of cosmic policeman up there, right? Like taking notes on whether I'm following the Ten Commandments. This can be a hurdle, but we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Again, like it's not a cult that says believe in this God and you can proceed in the doors. It says we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So step 1 and step 2 are just also taking the decision-making power out of your hands, given that you've been so successful at screwing up your life, right? Like for me, I thought with alcohol, like part of the journey is like, I'm not going to AA meetings. I'm not going to any meetings. I'm going to drink 6 beers tonight, then 5 tomorrow, then 4 the next night, and like analytical, right? Like you said, Wes. And but there's something sublime that happens when you join a 12-step program. If you're struggling with whatever you're struggling with, you realize you're not alone. Your shame is disarmed because you hear that other people, like you hear your story in what they're saying. You also hear shit that reminds you how fucking blessed you are. People with 10 DUIs, people who are just got out of jail because of drugs or alcohol, people who don't see their kids anymore, So it's like you can relate to these people, and then at the same time you're like, whoa, thank God I'm glad that's you and not me, And sublime is kind of a hard word to define, but it's like when you simultaneously feel the infinite size of the universe, but also your place in it. So you feel majesty and insignificance at the same time.
Interesting.
Right? And again, so like step 1 and step 2 are also like, what they used to say down on St. Mark's Square, a really like urban black inner city NA meeting. Back in the 80s and 90s, it was different. And they would say, like, to the new guy, sit down, shut the fuck up. If we have any questions about how to get high, we'll ask you. Right? So, like, just like, stop trying to untangle this thing on your own.
Right.
And then the higher power, which could be the cosmic policeman, or it could be Mother Nature, or it could be the universe, like in the kind of like the secret law of attraction sense, or it can even be a power greater than yourselves is the people in the church basement at the AA meeting. That can be the power greater than yourself that can restore you to sanity.
And Ray, and that's where actually the next place I would take it is that it can just be what you've found. You know, what you've found a community and it's helping you. Well, isn't this community a power? Isn't this a powerful force in your life? And isn't it readily apparent to you that it's a power greater than you and whatever your bullshit was that you were dealing with? So yeah, it can be anything. I think it's real important to recognize that what you're accomplishing by believing in something greater than yourself, and this is exactly what you were getting at, Wes, is recognizing how small you are. That you're just a little speck. You're a part of something greater, and if you can find something greater to keep in your life that's good, and focus on it, then there you have it. That you've got a greater power that you can focus on.
Right. 100%. Okay. So the way that I'm seeing this is just a way for me to remember. So the first one, primary objective, surrendering. Second step, believe in a greater power. Are we in agreement on that? Am I on board? Am I missing anything? Okay. And I wrote down the exact words that you said, but this will help me kind of keep it organized. Okay. Third step. What's that about?
Well, I'll go right to the third step is we made a decision to turn our will in our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. Got it. So that's the third step for me, sort of just ties the first two together. You know, you've got a problem with your will. Now you've recognized that there's something greater that can help you with it. And now you've made a conscious decision to sort of act on it, to let go and let God, they say.
Got it. Okay. Am I hearing that as first step is like kind of like, you know, we can't do it. Second step is there is a system, a higher power that can. Third step is that could. Okay, that could. Right. Third is let's create a partnership. Like I want to do it together.
The reason that like I'm stressing the language is because in step 1 and 2, you're still in a tug of war between medicating yourself with drugs or alcohol or sex or gambling or video games, and the and like, right. So, and knowing that it's destroying your life, right? But it's my security blanket. It feels good, but I know it's ruining my life. So like in step 2, it's like it's slowly moving you towards a healthy place, right? So it's like we admit it's destroying our life. We don't change. Like I'm not stopping to drink. I'm not stopping to take drugs. I'm just admitting, right? So it's not a very strict cult where you have to subscribe to a set of beliefs before you join, right? Like I'm still drinking, I'm still drugging, but I'm admitting that I'm admitting that I was powerless. So we're still drinking, we're still drugging, we're the life of the party, we're Charlie Sheen, but we admit that we are powerless over our addiction and that our life had become unmanageable. Okay. Still drinking, still partying. I come to believe that a power greater than myself can restore me to sanity. Okay. What I'm trying isn't working. Right. I'm still partying. I'm still drinking. I see the damage all around me. You know, parents mad at me, girlfriend mad at me, can't keep down a job. That's my story. And then 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. Again, God as we understood him, cosmic policeman, white guy with a beard up on a cloud throne, the wisdom of Mother Nature, whatever. Again, we're not trying to get you to sign up for our church. We're just trying to show you that what you've been doing so far hasn't been working too great.
Right.
And so these are tools to trust someone else at the wheel.
Yeah. No, I completely get that. And Drew's over here freaking out. Sorry, Drew. I'm seeing your comments just every once in a while. We'll bring you on in a sec, but I just want to make sure I get all this stuff out of these first 3 steps. Okay. And yeah, right. I like how you're emphasizing, first of all, I love how you're emphasizing just the vernacular, right? Because those words are very important, and those are synthesized words. They didn't just end up there randomly. But I like the part that you said, believe in God as you understand him. And I think that's where, for me, people like me get caught up on that. It's like, well, why are you calling it him? Like, that's where my brain automatically. So it's helpful to hear you say, like, it doesn't matter. Don't get hung up on that. Whatever the him is, or the God is, or the universe is for you, just a higher system. And I really like how you're emphasizing that. So thank you for doing that.
Right.
Slay, anything to add to that third step there?
Well, just that the
you want to define will?
What's that?
Want to define will and willpower in the program?
Ooh.
We're talking about that. That's not an accidental. It's not again. That's a synthesized word, right?
Yeah. Well, let me also just briefly say to all the other guys, that I don't represent AA. I want to make that clear, and I'm not here trying to preach a program to anyone. I'm just someone who hasn't drank for multiple years at this point. And has been in and out of programs for many more years than that. So I wanted to start with that.
Sure.
But as for will, well, I guess that just goes back to admitting that you were powerless. For me, such a big hurdle. Was that I didn't want to, and I don't know if this was part of me, like thinking, I'm strong, I'm tough, I've got everything under control, and being afraid to admit a weakness. But that's exactly what it was. It's I was afraid to admit that I was weak in this area, and that my will wasn't cutting it. And I had to change that, because it was 100% me thinking I had things under control that was the problem. And by turning that over, and again, it can't be stressed enough that this doesn't mean you have to pick up a Bible, and subscribe to some religion that somebody else came up with, or it literally doesn't mean anything specific. It's as you understand that there's some other power greater than your will and your willpower. That's what's important. Admitting that to yourself and to everyone else.
Right. And so Ray, going off of the back of Slay's comments, what can you add to that word? What does that mean for you? What does that mean in the program, the word will?
It means, like, if you were to think, that the word God, the word higher power, doesn't really work for me, so I'm going to pick and choose which parts of this program I want to do. That's you using your willpower, and that is you setting yourself up for failure. That's like sabotage, right? So, like, you might not be the kind of person who feels comfortable giving up control, but again, like, these are all just levers that get you to a healthy place. And I see in the comments that Troy is with he's babysitting a younger kid, and it can be awkward to talk about these things with a kid, but like, just remember that these topics were shamed and secret. They were like suicide or incest or addiction. These were all things that nobody ever talked about, which enabled people like drug dealers, Catholic priests, or like depressed people to get away with evil for centuries. And so schools are doing a really good job now of like um, helping kids understand how to regulate their emotions.
100%.
Using eye contact, saying how you feel out loud, saying what you need from the other person, asking the questions, why are you doing this to me, and knowing when to walk away. And so Troy, if you just want to talk about like Ray drinks too much beer, or Ray eats too much junk food, or Ray does something unhealthy, and he's talking about getting to a healthy place, I think that little Ollie has probably this isn't the first time he's been given this lesson.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. Okay, so have we sufficiently covered step 3?
I think so.
Okay. Let's move on to step 4. So what is that for you guys? Slay, if you wouldn't mind reading step 4, bro.
Oh, I want to get I don't know if I dropped I don't want to get the wording wrong.
Well, okay. It's the same in both programs, so I'll just read out the wording and then Slay, you riff on it. Step 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And this one stings, boys. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves.
That's about doing a deep dive.
Okay.
That's about really going inside. And I know for me, working a step 4, I worked a step 4 with a sponsor, and it's just not fun. It's really tearing off the scabs and to get to some real healing, and sort of just taking a look at yourself, taking a look at what you've done. Where not just the fact that you went wrong, but sort of what you did wrong.
So now what does that entail? Does it entail writing it down in a notebook? Does it entail talking to somebody else? Like what are the requirements? Because I could see how this could sting a lot.
For me, that was working it with a sponsor was writing it out myself, writing out pages and pages of all the horrible things I've done and everything I was able to admit that I was wrong about. And then in the program, going over that with my sponsor.
So you got to tell him.
That doesn't make it any more fun than just going over it yourself.
And then Ray, was it similar for you where you wrote it down and then you told another human this stuff?
Well, Wes, I'm lucky because I'm only 8.5 months free from the Pepsi. And so I only got to step 3. And the steps are in an order for a reason, right? Only when you admit that you're powerless over your addiction, that you come to believe a power greater than yourself can restore you to sanity and make a decision to turn your will over to God, only then are you ready to be honest. Like, when you go to the doctor and the doctor says, do you exercise? You're like, yep. Do you smoke cigarettes? You're like, nope. Like, only when you get through steps 1, 2, and 3, and it's not just reading them out loud, but actually live them. Like, it took me a month to get step 1, months to get step 2, 2 months to get through step 3. Only then are you ready to be honest about what you did. And for some people, it's like leaving the kid in the car while they go to score, or stealing money from your wife, your grandma, or like lying or infidelity, or and you can imagine some like Law and Order situations where it's much worse than that, right? Where someone dies or someone gets injured, a DUI, right? So these are in numbered order for a reason, because this would spook. I mean, this look in the mirror is enough for most people to be like, you know what, I'm going to stick with drinking. And I'm going to stick with drinking myself to death.
I should note that when I did work a fourth step, it was not in this current incarnation of my sobriety, and it it may have contributed to me going back out at the time. I don't know if I could handle it. I wasn't, because at that time I wasn't ready. But I did it, and I did not enjoy it.
Yeah, I could see it being a really big barrier. It's like, okay, now you got to confront the demons, and that's not an enjoyable process.
No, because we're like by drinking, by drugging, by gambling, by with infidelity, with overeating, whatever the person's challenge is, we are outrunning those demons, right?
Right.
And what the program, and only at step 3, the program asks you to stop, turn around, and let those demons surround you. And again, everything is, all the steps are in order for a reason. A preview for next week, or for 2 weeks from now, step 8 is we made a list of all the persons we harmed, and we became willing to make amends to them. Step 9 is we make direct amends to such people wherever possible. That's step 8 and 9. Like, they don't want you to quit drinking 2-3 days and be like, this changed my life. I'm going to the cops. I'm telling them I robbed that bank. I'm going to my wife. I told her I'm going to tell her I have this secret family. No. They're in order for a reason. We'll get to the heroic part, because you can still actually blow up your life with only 3 days drug or alcohol free, and thinking you've mastered this program. Like, everything is highly synthesized. I like that language you use, Wes. So only at step 4 are you ready to make the list. You're not solving it again. You're still drinking and drugging at this point. You just have a desire to change. You're just making a list of all your dirtbag moves. You're not changing a single one. Like,
right.
This is a in order for this to work, it's a very deliberate and slow process.
And meanwhile, you're going to the meetings weekly. Is that like the connective tissue that gets you to the next milestone step? Is that how this works?
Yes, the meetings remind us of when you're working the program correctly, which I am not doing, and it sounds like Slay is not like actively working the program correctly.
I gotta be clear about that.
Yeah. I appreciate that too. Like, same here. You do, and they recommend 90 meetings in 90 days, just to really change the habit. No, but think about it, Wes. Do you know guys who are going to bars 90 bars, like 90? Okay. Is there anyone out there that you can think of that drinks 90 cans of beer in 90 days, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And if you think about the Rhomas learning segment today, it was identify 5 things that prevent your growth, identify 5 things that give value to others, and over the next 90 days, keep an eye on that list. There's some kind of magic about 90 days that can either break an addiction or break an addiction that's negative, or like create an addiction that's positive behavior.
Yeah, I love it. Ray, I'm so glad that you brought that up. 90 meetings in 90 days. I'm writing this stuff down. Yeah, there's a certain amount of just repetition.
Daily, and again, the overlap with the Rhomas program, it's daily. It turns into a daily habit.
And I have to say, I like the how would I define this? Realistic ambition of it. Because, like, let's say, for instance, I look at a guy like Jake, who's been showing up on the scorecard, meeting and the workouts with us every single morning, Ray. And he wasn't asking for, to lose 30 pounds in 3 days. But because he's been doing it, he's been enjoying the process, executing like a beast. And now he's lost 30-something pounds, and he's on a trajectory to lose even more. But if he were to have gone in and said, I want to lose 30 pounds in 3 days, or a week, maybe could have done it. I mean, not that number necessarily, but he would have burned himself out. He didn't have the connective tissue or the foundation that provides even more stability to move forward from there. So it seems like the program has that kind of baked in, which I really like. It's not overwhelming.
It's not a jackpot, and it's not a Hail Mary pass, right? Like you like to say.
Yep, absolutely. Dudes, that was awesome. Like, so these 4 steps, the way that I'm saying is: number 1, surrender; number 2, believe there's a greater power; number 3, decide to make the partnership. Oh, Ray, I think you're muted, pal. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Wes.
Okay, Ray, we can't hear you.
Well,
yeah, I think he's gonna try to hop back in. Okay, so the steps that I hear: number 1, surrender; number 2, believe in a greater power; number 3, decide to partner with that greater power; and number 4, take a deep dive into what you said, Slay. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves and our mistakes. Is that what it was? I didn't get that last part.
oh jeez,
It's okay.
Yeah,
That's it. That's exactly it.
Okay. Cool.
And remember, we're not quitting the bad behavior at this point. We're just showing up with an open mind.
Got it.
We're not
Okay.
we don't have to change anything. We just have to be open.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So, all right, now I'm going to do something. We're going to unleash the dog right now. Drew has just been biting at our ankles to get on here. Drew, you got to promise to behave. You got to promise to behave, because I have the power to mute you and take you off. So we have to have that agreement.
R.I.P. DMX.
Because he's got something he wants to say. So let's hear it. Oh shit. Dude, I don't know how to do this. He hasn't been on the
practice squad for a couple of weeks, so he's just like, he's just been like, yeah, no, or just like the kind of like, just like.
Is it like a no fap effect where he's just building up juices?
It's a no share.
Oh my god!
See?
Yeah.
See.
Just like let's ignore him. Let's ignore him. Guess what? I'm not gonna show up for fucking 2 weeks again. Fucking ignore me again. Fuck you guys. I'll make my own shit.
All right. Number 1, Drew.
I think
you got to sit down. You got to sit, because when you move around, the audio gets super choppy. And then look at it, like, I love the energy, bro. I love it. Just like we got to contain the force.
Good hustle. Good focus.
That's good. All right. All right. What's up? What are we talking about? I like this. This is good. Yeah.
You said you wanted to come on, so I wanted to give you the respect as a man to man to come on.
Every single thing you guys were saying, I had things to like say about it. Okay, let me look back. About I mean, look, here's the thing. Like, look at me. People all my life, like, you should probably go to NA, right? Or like you have drug problems. And I'm like, fuck you. You're a loser. Don't tell me what to do. Just because you can't handle your shit, don't fucking tell me I can't handle mine. Like, you just couldn't handle your shit, and you're a fucking weak person. Don't tell me that I can't do shit, because it's you. Like, someone's like, don't ride a bike without a helmet. You're going to fall. It's like, you're going to fucking fall. I can do it. Don't tell me what the fuck to do. Sorry. Well,
I got you, Drew. And like, Drew, that's part of the process. Is like, you have to realize
it's different people. I'm not hating. It's for different people. Like,
all your friends can handle it, but you can't. And you just have to be a
heroin. People need it. I don't do heroin.
Yeah. Good. That's a good.
Or alcohol people. Alcohol addicts need to. I'm more like psychedelics. Maybe I need it for psychedelics.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's not like you're playing. It's not like you're playing like you're shooting a gun, and anyone who shoots a gun at their head is gonna die.
I view them. They're preying on.
Some people can drink every day and they're fine.
Sorry, not that.
Drew, I gave you a warning. Just calm down. Let's see if the heartbeat down. All right, ready? We're gonna try. I just want to make sure we can hear everybody. All right, Drew. 1, 2, 3. You're back on.
I don't believe this motherfucker. All
right, you're back on. You're back on. I slapped your hand. You're back on. You're good.
I made some jokes for laughing.
Okay, so and I think this is great because I didn't hear anything, and Drew, this is not me attacking by any means, but I didn't hear anything in any of what the guys were saying of like somebody forcing another person to go. It seemed like very much an individual journey of saying, okay, maybe there's been enough signs, and now I'm going to go through it.
It was a discussion about will, and I understand that. Was it a choice to call Rico for your fucking 8-ball, or was it not? Because you're addicted, and I'm like, I get both of them, and I don't know if it's will sometimes, but I think some people like Like for me, it's like don't smoke weed. That's a will thing. But maybe I'm addicted. I don't. It is complicated. I don't. It's like, do I just not want to do it badly, or I just really want to do it? It's like, is that addiction? Am I weak enough to admit it's an addiction? You know what I'm saying? If I'm bad enough, I fucked up my life enough, I have to admit it's an addiction. But if I'm killing it, if I'm a director, I'm in Hollywood, I'm doing coke all the time, they don't have to admit it's a weakness until they have to admit it's a weakness. It's actually a strength probably for them.
Yeah. Well, no, that's a good point. I think
something, but like it's a risk, and people. But if I would like if I'm fucked up enough, I'm drinking every day, I would go to like a thing like this and get my life in order in like a month, probably like that. If someone's like, if you just don't drink. Yeah, God is going to heal you. Also, your body's just going to heal probably naturally. Just stop doing it for a month. Yeah, your life's going to be better. Stop fucking it up for 90 days. Just see what happens. You're just naturally fucking your life up consistently every day for 90 days. If you just didn't do that, your life would naturally be better. It's like a stock market shit.
Yeah. So a couple things there. And again, this is where I hear, and Drew, I can definitely see your point. And I think that's where defining your own game first and saying, okay, what do I want to be successful at? And because the people that you bring up, dude, I can tell you plenty of Hollywood executives, some of them that I know personally, who, yes, they have a great career, but their family life is shit, et cetera. But anyway, that's not for me to judge. It's the question that always stumps me, especially when I'm trying to be too forceful, when somebody says, well, how's that working out for you? Because like that's the damn question that gets in my way, because I can argue for all of my other,
like I do,
Drew. So I can argue all of my other I can argue all of my other weaknesses until somebody asks me that, and they say, well, how's that working out for you? And then it's like, I have to take my own personal scorecard. I'm like, shit, and by the way, Drew, I'm not saying that, I would never say that anybody else has to go on anything, but that's the question that gets me to confront it. Okay, hold on. Now you're back on.
I don't want to shit on NA. I just wanted to mostly just say how Rhomas had improved my life from when I did it, like for a month straight, every morning with you motherfuckers. Yeah. You forgot about me. You act like because I don't do it anymore. You don't give me credit. Like,
oh no, dude, we love you, buddy.
Like, no, yo, you just need a haircut. That's all.
More hair, motherfucker. You look like a puppet. You look like a
dude. I need to borrow some. It's so thin up here, dude. It's tragic.
You look like a toy, a GI Joe toy. You're freaking me out.
All right, everybody be nice. Everybody be nice.
No, this is us being nice, bro. I love this.
Women comment on their appearance all the time. They're like, bitch, you look fat. You look fucking ugly.
All right. So, dudes, any final words?
Oh, wait, can I say what's that last thing? It was just about how, so from doing Rhomas, we did workouts and everything. And like, so basically it unlocked my creativity to the point I became an event organizer in my town, where I was like, I was getting people to, I'm making a music. I reached a guy who has a lot. He was like, does anybody want to maybe come to my empty yard to have something? He's like a loser guy. And I'm like, yo, can I have my music events? He was like, sure. So guess what I'm doing today? I'm fucking going to Best Buy. I'm investing in a $2,500 projector. I'm going to have movie nights at this motherfucker's place, charge $10 a head. I'm going to get the money back in like 2 months. And this is all genius fucking ideas from unlocking my shit from doing Rhomas for a month. I don't need to, I can't do it every fucking morning because I'm not unemployed anymore. I'm fucking substitute teaching here and there, and I'm making music festivals at night and rapping and making movies and shit. I'm trying to film a movie. I got a GoFundMe thing if you want to participate, but I'm not here to pump my own shit. Also, I have a book out in a week. I've been busy, motherfuckers, but I like your shit. You help me out. Jesus Christ.
I love you, brother.
I would say that
I'm not here to promote my shit, but I have shit I've been working on. You guys help me do that shit, so thank you.
What I'm hearing through is that, again, like, the ways in which I keep coming back to this, the ways in which Rhomas overlaps with the 12-step program for a healthier life.
Hell yeah, dude.
100%.
I love all you guys. I appreciate it. Sorry for being abrasive.
You're all good, brother.
You be you, man. We love you. You be you.
That's East Coast style, man.
If you guys want to come to my concerts and music festivals, come to Plattsburgh, New York. You're all welcome. You can even crash in my place, Airbnb style. All the dogs, no joke. I'm not fucking around. Look at this. We have food. We have hot dogs, avocado, grilled cheeses. We have projector screen Best Buy. We got the Warriors, the movie The Warriors at midnight tonight.
I love it, dude. Drew, I love you, brother.
I'm just telling you. This
and thank you, man.
Thank you, Rhomas. You guys got me on my shit. I would have been a lazy pothead otherwise. Yes. Thank you. I'm still smoking weed, but I'm a more productive pothead now. That's all I'm saying.
It's a circle.
Oh, yeah, brother.
It's a circle. You pump me up, Drew. You pump me up big time.
You got to dig the energy, bro. You got to dig. That's another level of energy. Drew, how did you even get on? I didn't even know you. How did you just get on?
Dude, he's like
I didn't
with
even
his
know.
brain power, with his hormones, he's like taking control of the crowd.
That was amazing. Well, dudes, I got to thank you guys.
It's true. It's true. Like Wes, I know you don't like taking credit, man, but like you really, this program is changing lives. Like, like 12-step, like NA and AA, it's voluntary. So that's the problem, or that's actually the beauty of it. Like, if you want to show up, it can change your life.
Dude, I appreciate it. Thank you for saying that. I can tell you at the same time, like the value that I get from it every single day, like literally every single day. When we end our scorecard session, it's like, holy shit, like I get a tiny bit choked up. And that's not in my DNA. It's like, this is fucking cool, man. This is cool. Cause I know that I would not have done this efficiently, or I wouldn't have done it, or I wouldn't have done that many days in a row. So you guys, produce unbelievable value in my life. And with that being said, I wanted to put it out there into the universe to all of you guys. Meditation has been by far the number one thing that I've implemented. It seems like a lot of the guys, especially in the scorecard, like meditation is key. Like I found it just key to anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up meditation, a live session every day, Monday through Friday, 2:30 p.m. It's not going to start next week. It'll probably start the week after. Matt and I are still trying to figure it out. And we'll figure out like the logistics and everything, but just to throw it out there to you guys, because we want to keep on like expanding the services of the team, and be there for you guys. And, cause you guys have shown up for us too. So,
And Wes, that's 2:30 Pacific.
No, 2:30 East. Yes, I'm sorry, 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. Correct.
Gotcha.
So we'll go more into that. But dudes, I would love to have you guys on Monday again to go through the next 4 steps. So we'll do 3 sessions total if you're cool with it. So
and
dudes,
Wes, I know there's other guys. There's other guys who have mastered their urges, in our group, and particularly, I mean, if they're open to it, like let's have them on.
hell yeah.
Particularly if it's not alcohol and cocaine, in my case, or alcohol. It would be interesting to get someone's perspective on the other bad habits that people have mastered through these programs.
Okay. No, I think that's great. Now I'm gonna play Simon Cowell, but there's going to be it's a contingency. So Slay, I'm gonna challenge you right now, because we had a challenge on the scorecard team for you, and it's not a commitment, but my challenge to you, and on the other side of this challenge would be a gold button. I think that's what Simon Cowell does in like America's Got Talent or whatever. He hits the gold buzzer, and you get the dude of the week automatically.
He doesn't even know about dude of the week. Do you know about dude of the week, bro?
I don't know. I'm so new and just grateful.
Dude, so dude of the week is where normally what we do is we throw up a poll. Everybody votes on dude of the week. Everybody shares their wins. Which, by the way, guys,
I think Drew's my nomination. I'm sorry, guys. Drew is my nomination for dude of the week this week.
Yeah.
Okay, pump me up.
So I want to give Slay this challenge. He admitted a barrier that he had psychologically, and the first step, in my opinion, to getting over that barrier was saying out loud what he wants to do, what he wants to accomplish. And there's so much embarrassment in that for most of us. Like, and this is what we said, we said months ago, that if your goal is not embarrassing to say out loud, it's not a real goal. It's just not. Like, you're playing it safe. Like, it should be 10 times that, right? Like, so Slay, you have an opportunity here, bro. One of the biggest opportunities you may have ever had, which is you say it out loud what you want to do, and you got dude of the week automatically. It's up to you. No pressure.
I tell you what, it's not even what I want to do. It's what I am doing.
Yes.
I am writing, recording, and producing my own music.
Yes.
Distributing it, doing all my own art. And that's going to consist of something, a weird blend of hip hop and pop with a twist of horror movies mixed in.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be scary and super gay. And I know all the dogs are probably never going to have it in their own playlists, but yes, that is hard to say. That you know what, I'm a creative, and I'm gonna start creating. Well, I have been, and I'm definitely not here to plug myself, but if anyone did search for Slay on any major streaming platform, you would find me. It's already
Hell
there.
yeah. Dude.
The distribution and
And
everything's
Slay,
already
Slay,
set
if
up
you-
for the big projects.
Slay, if you think you're that different than Mountain Drew, we put this challenge to Drew a couple of months ago, do we not, Wes?
Yep.
He posted hip hop tracks, hip hop videos, music videos of, you know, like throwing the $1 bills and stuff, and he posted pictures of his artwork and his paintings. So again, like other than haircuts, like we can learn a lot from Drew.
Dude.
Well, like I said, it is already there. There is a YouTube channel. There's a Spotify channel. It's already
Into
there.
it.
There's some stuff up there already, but the big projects are to come. The stuff I'm really proud of is yet to come.
Hell yeah,
Post
man.
some links. Post some links on the Discord, okay? So we can.
Yes,
give you some
please.
I got you. I don't want to be in here plugging
Dude,
myself.
don't worry about that. No,
but I will. Sure.
And anybody listening to you right now knows for sure you're not plugging. Like, this was a challenge that I gave to you, man. It's like, keep creating. Our school system doesn't really do a good job of indoctrinating creativity. It's like, so then we're scared. It's like, oh, just follow the script, do the test, and we'll tell you whether or not you got an A. It's like, no, go out there and create, man. Those are the people who get rewarded. And by the way, it might be a very long time to get rewarded, but that's the journey. That's the path of progress, bro. So, dude, you get dude of the week because you had the balls to actually admit this stuff. And, dude, thank you guys. Love you guys for joining, and see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.